Hey everybody, it's Alec here back at it again with another episode of the Smashing Brands podcast. And today I am joined by
Sandy Glandt.
Cindy Glantz. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited to have an epic conversation with you.
Yes, I'm excited to dive in.
Cool. So, the first question I always like to ask is, how do you spend your time on planet Earth?
Well, I have many hats that I wear.
Yeah.
I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. I do a lot of work that's kind of outside of those categories, which I think would be more personal development. I hold the title of Mrs. International. I did my first fitness competition about I don't know, 4 months ago and won a title there.
Wow.
We stay busy here in the Glant household. So I have a lot of things, both personally and professionally that I work on that keep us busy, but super fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a lot of things that you just said. So, my first question is, where do you feel like the drive comes from?
I come from an entrepreneurial family, at least three generations back. So I feel like I saw from my parents and my grandparents my whole life what it means to have your own business and create your own destiny and kind of living life on your own terms, but making it happen. I mean, look, we all face different challenges and all have 24 hours in a day. But I think as a mom and a business owner, those 24 hours look different because even in my own house, I'm the first one up and that's the fuel into me first. So get my workouts in and then jump right from that into mom mode, making breakfast, getting kids off to school. So it's a lot of, I would say, juggling. I don't even say balance because it's definitely not balanced. But I think that, that drive I saw from a very early age. And it was probably more so the drive to just be able to live up to the potential that I saw for myself. Not so much for something that someone put on me, but like just me wanting to live up to a version of me that was always evolving and stepping into a level that, I thought I was capable of.
Absolutely. So, what do you feel like that potential is?
I don't think I will ever reach it because I think that, you're always evolving. Like I'm always evolving as a mom and a wife, and I never think that you've ever fully made it.
Mhm.
Because I think that every day I'm evolving. I mean, I can always be a better mom and wife and business owner and in my own health, and personal life. So I think that there I like to enjoy the destination, because I'm always evolving into these next levels. And sometimes it's slower and
Mhm.
sometimes it's a little bit faster. But I've found, especially through motherhood, there's seasons.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's heavier on family and sometimes it's heavier on business. But I kind of really like to be enjoying the seasons that I'm in. And sometimes it's heavier than others.
For sure. So how do you feel like you've evolved, let's say, over the last 12 months?
So let's see, 4 months ago, pretty much 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago, I entered into my first fitness competition, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
So really every year I like to kind of have like benchmarks for myself. Like, what's the next thing that I'm doing or trying? Because I had never done fitness, but I knew I was kind of always stagnant. Like I always worked out, I always lifted weights and did
Uh,
probably some cardio, but I never got to a level that was like where I could step on a stage and really like take it to
yeah.
like above and beyond maybe just like a 30-minute workout. So physically, that's something in the last 12 months that I challenged myself to do. I'm also, which I'm probably not going to announce right now, but I'm also working on something in my business right now that is new, hopefully coming out within the next year. Different collaborations, working with new partners, hosting new events. So there's always kind of like the buckets personally and professionally that I'm always working on.
Cool. So when you talk about fitness, was it like a bodybuilding competition?
It was the WBFF competition.
Uh-huh.
And probably for 3 months, like really, really honed in on like macros and nutrition, something I've never done before. So that was a whole new world of education for me. But hired a coach, to do that back in 2022, 2023. You can see there's a crown hanging out over there. I was Mrs. Florida International and then had never competed before and won Mrs. International. So I like to like get outside the box. Like I don't like putting myself in a box and saying this is the only thing that I'm doing. Like I
Yeah.
love just like stepping out of that box and doing things that people probably don't expect because it's new and it's refreshing and I love learning and finding new things out about myself that I've never done before.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that a little bit because going through,
Yeah.
I've never competed in bodybuilding before, but I watch a lot of YouTube videos and the real struggle that is to get into, and I've been around people that have competed, and it's
Yeah.
just like it doesn't sound fun, like whatsoever. Just like conserving the like not eating a lot, being tired, all of that kind of stuff. It's just like it seems like such a sacrifice for a period of time. I want to
hmm
know, like, I guess, do you feel like it was worth it? And would you do it?
So
Would you do it again?
so yes, I would do it again. And I think again, it's a very small window. It's a very small season. And I
Yeah,
think one of like the crazy things about me, I don't know how this got into my personality or my DNA, but like
yeah,
I need to constantly push my barriers. Like like where am I? What are they? And how do I push past them? And so the reason why I did it in the first place, I mean, look, I have a sweet tooth. I really don't know any women that don't because that's just one of my weaknesses. So
yeah,
I
me too.
wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to give myself, and it was more so like, how do I challenge myself mentally? Because yes, it's physically, getting in the gym and working out for more time and like macros and things like that, but it was really like discipline. Like I had to be so disciplined
Yeah,
because that like the level and the intensity to compete, going into that level is nothing I've ever done before. So I knew I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go
yeah.
all in and I'm going to take it serious and I have to push not just my body, but my discipline to a level that I've never experienced before. And that was my big why.
Cool. Yeah, and I see a lot of resemblances. Like I hear a lot about great athletes becoming okay, yeah, of course you hear stories of like, athletes losing all their money. That's most common in the media, but also a lot of athletes make for really great business people
hmm
because it's like,
Dedication,
yeah.
discipline, yep, consistency.
So is there anything that like I guess you took away from that experience that you're now like implementing into other areas of your life, whether it's motherhood, your business, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I learned a lot about myself and honestly, I feel like I realized how like I can push myself to these different levels, but and this probably also in motherhood too, right? Because I mean, I'm sure you've never had kids before, but like you experience as part of your life that you never had before, especially when you have your first child, that you don't even realize what you're capable of. And I saw that again, having both my babies, I saw this, in the fitness space.
Yeah.
It's another level that evolved. It's almost like a metamorphosis that
Yeah.
you start as something and then you end as something completely different. So I feel like I took a lot of that into just like not even business, but like just into my daily life that allows me to like kind of ebb and flow in the areas that I need to
Yeah.
really like be present in whatever it is that I'm doing with my kids, with my clients, with my husband. Like you morph into a completely different person.
Yeah, so how can we start in a healthy way pushing our boundaries?
Yeah. So, I mean, one way that I love to do this is something that challenges me. And maybe it's not as extreme as a fitness competition or doing a pageant, but
Yeah.
maybe for you, and this is kind of where I started was I was never a morning person. Like you can ask my husband, I like would dread because he was a morning person when I met him. We've been together for 12 years. And I
Yeah.
used to fight like getting up early and like starting my day off early. And he's like, Sandy, that's the thing that's gonna, like that's your Achilles heel. And
Yeah.
when I finally gave in and started using that as my fuel instead of my excuse, everything changed. So I would say maybe start with your morning routine and get up, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes earlier,
Mhm.
like before you have to. Let's say you got to get up at, I don't know, 7 o'clock. Get up at 6 4 or 5, 6:45 or 6:30, and just like give yourself that time. And especially like, I don't know if you have how many moms that you have listening to, your content, but like that's just time for you. Like my time goes so much into everybody around me that
Yeah.
it's very small, the time that I get to read a book, do a podcast, do a workout, things like that. Like
Yeah.
that is my sacred time. So I
Yeah.
think the reason why I'm able to do it so much more now is because I know how sacred it is, and I do not let that time go, and I don't take it for granted.
Cool. So, what do you do in the morning to like make time for yourself? Like, what does that look like from the moment that you wake up?
Yeah. So now that I'm not in like full competition mode, my alarm goes off at 5:35, very precise.
What was it before?
5
Okay,
o'clock.
now it's
So
5:35.
yeah, because my when I was competing, I would give myself like an hour and a half workout, like weightlifting in the morning.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, or like after I would drop my kids off at school, I would then go back into the gym and do cardio. So I was working out like probably up to 2.5 hours a day for
Mhm.
like prep. But now that I'm not competing currently, I give myself an hour, which is plenty of
Yeah.
time. Like I can go in, I can weight lift, I can get in and get out.
Yeah.
So I get up at 5:35. Like my kids are still sleeping, my husband's still sleeping, nobody's up. I can like,
Yeah.
I can get changed, I can go into the gym. And I'm the type of person, like I get up and I get right into the gym. I don't watch I don't even make coffee in the morning. Like I have my coffee after my workouts. So I
Mhm.
just wake up, put my gym clothes on, which are already prepped out for me from the night before, and I
Nice.
just get right into my workout. And I have a trainer that I use. She comes to me in person, but she also has an app. So all I have
Yeah.
to do is open up my iPad, press play, and everything's programmed and ready for me to go.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a bodybuilding competition, but I'm training a lot for calisthenics right now, which I'm sure you're
Okay.
familiar with.
Yeah.
All like the crazy movements and stuff, like the
Yeah.
muscle ups, the front levers, the handstand pull-ups and all that. And
Yeah.
I've never hired a trainer for anything because like I'm in pretty good shape. I've always weightlifted. But just like through hiring a trainer to help me, I realized just how much more like I'm pushing myself or they're pushing
Right.
me.
Yes.
Kind of revelation. And like the best athletes in the world like have coaches. But,
Absolutely.
like, you go to the gym,
Absolutely.
like, the people that would normally work out with trainers are those that are maybe out of shape or something like
Hmm.
that. But when you really think about it, the people that are at the highest level are always continually getting that support because there's always so
Right.
much to learn and they recognize it.
Right. And I mean, I know for me, like when I train with my trainer, I will go harder than I would on my own. And even like if I'm with her on the app, it tracks like my weights and my reps. So every single time I'm doing it, I can look and say, okay, well, like last week I did this many reps and this much weight. Okay, let me push myself a little bit more, even if it's going up just a couple pounds. So I'm
Yeah,
constantly accelerating.
yeah. There was one instance where we were doing all this bar work. He trains me virtually. We were doing this bar work and like I couldn't hold on to the bar anymore. Like my grip was just like destroyed, right? And I couldn't do anything. I was like, dude, like I can't do anything right now. And he was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can. I
And
was
did
like,
you?
okay, I can. And it took me a little while. And I was able to grab onto the bar and do like whatever 10 or 15 more leg lifts. And I was like, that's
Wow.
something that I didn't think that I could do. I couldn't even hold on to the bar for 2 seconds because my hands were just like fried, but it ended up
Yeah.
working out anyway. But I want to know whether it was fitness or just life or business, what was the time when you believed maybe that you couldn't do something, but you kept doing it and you surprised yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think two examples here, one in business and one personally.
Yeah.
So when I was competing for this fitness competition, I kept telling my trainer, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. She's like,
Mm.
just trust the process. Like, she's like, you hired me for a reason. You have to trust me. And I was like, I'm telling you, I'm not ready. Like, I don't feel ready. I don't feel like I'm at this certain level. And she's like, just trust me. And I did. And when I went to the competition, it was like 2 days out. So there's like the day that you travel, and then there's like a day of prep, and then there's like the competition day.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I was going there, and of course, all the work is done before you go. Like you're not going to change that much in 48 hours. But trusting the process and trusting her and my body and all the things. I mean, I won 2 first place trophies and
Mhm.
I got my pro card on stage that day. And I felt like my body transformed so much, even from the day that I landed, it was in Atlantic City, to the day that I was on stage, because I was trusting the process. Like I was trusting my coach, and I didn't think I would be able to do it, just because, 3 months out when you're prepping, of course you're
Mhm.
not going to be stage ready from 3 months to the day that you step on the stage. But
Yeah.
I just had to trust her and trust the process and my body, and like shut off the noise
Mhm.
to just say, just, you're following what you're being told, you're following the process,
Yeah.
just keep trusting in that. So that's an example with, personally. And I think professionally, I run an academy. It's called the High Performance Academy. And it's been going on for, oh my gosh, maybe 5 years already, 4 to 5 years.
Mhm.
And there was a point in time, like a pivotal moment, where I remember thinking, like, because I have one-on-one clients and then I have my academy clients. And I remember thinking, is it worth it for me to like continue with the group clients because I'm spending so much time with the one-on-ones? Like, do I still want to do this? And I just remember being like at that point where I almost shut it off and like didn't do it. And then right when I went like and said, I'm not doing it, I'm still continuing, I'm going full in, and I made that switch, like everything changed from that point out, because more of our members started joining. Like it was almost like the same mentality of like, you're either all in or all out. You can't be in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was that switch that you made exactly?
I think it was making the decision for me to just be like, you have to make up your mind. Like, you can't be half, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to me to be like in limbo. It's like a
Yeah.
relationship. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like if
Yeah.
you're going to be in something, you got to be fully in it for
Yeah.
it to work.
I agree. I agree. So when you say fully in it, was that the shift then from one-on-one coaching to more group coaching with the academy? Is that what we're specifically talking about here?
So where I was at that point, this was probably like maybe 2.5 years ago. I was like, well, maybe I can fuel into the one-on-one girls more if it's just them versus the group. And
Mhm.
then I remember, because I was on an airplane. I don't remember where we were going. I don't remember where the trip was, but I remember being on the airplane, almost like writing the message to my team, like, we're going to shut this down. Like, I had this email ready to go. And then I was like, for whatever reason, I ended up deleting it. I was like, nope, we're not doing this. I need to go all in. And I remember just thinking, like, if I'm doing this and putting attention on this, like, it's going to
Yeah.
be fun, it's going to be adventurous, it's going to be engaging. Like, there just needed to be a shift,
Yeah.
because I felt like it went stagnant for a while. Again, it's been going on almost 5 years. So there
Mhm.
was a shift after like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, that I was like, you get comfortable. You're like,
Yeah.
it's kind of working, it's going, but it wasn't like exciting me anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think the shift was like going from, it's not exciting, to like, well, yeah, it's not exciting anymore because you're not excited about it.
Yeah.
So I had to make that shift and be like, what would get me excited about this again? Like, what activities, what outings? Like,
Like,
in 2 weeks, or on the 9th, so maybe not even 2 weeks, my girls from my academy and I were going out on a yacht day. I'm like, that stuff excites me. Like, it's fun, it's like memorable. So we do really, really fun things now.
yeah, yeah, seems like it. So, like, what are your main so first of all, like, who is your ideal client, and what are you really trying to, like what is that transformation that you're trying to help them with?
Yeah. So my ideal client, they are all busy working moms. So they have a limited amount of hours in the day. So they're
Like
not working a typical 9 to 5. They're not working 8 hours a day. Some of them are like, you know what? I work when my babies sleep, or I work when my kids are in school. And that's
mhm,
all the time I have. Maybe 3 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day.
yeah,
So what I do, my team and I, we help our clients build the systems, the strategy, and have the support to be able to work those maybe 3 to 5 hours a day and have successful companies and businesses that are able to, whether it's coaching. I mean, my clients are in all different industries. So they are
mhm,
product based, service based, but able to put the systems into their businesses, whether again through automations, whether it's through different systems with their CRM, that help them build out their businesses, but work in the hours that work for them. Because, like, I know for me, I'm a very active mom, I'm a very active wife, but also business owner, because I know where I'm plugging in and when I'm plugging in.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. So it's basically like custom to their lifestyle. Like I have this goal. This is where I'm at. This is the time that I have, and you help them figure
Mhm.
out a way to get them where they want to be based on the time and resources that they have.
Exactly, exactly. I know for me, like when I first started, and my babies were like little babies. I mean, I had launched my book this same month that my youngest, my second son was born. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, like I ended up hiring a PR team, but
Yeah.
I would take client calls or coaching calls or media calls, and I would like jump on, Zoom, and then I would like go back to my son. And I was able to do both. I mean, I was able to successfully, get a best-selling book and be this present mom. But I also knew my hours. I was like, I know, and my team knows I don't work past 4 o'clock. Like they're not going to hear from me. They're not going to get me. But they also know that when I'm in those working hours, they've got me, you
Yeah.
know? So again, seasons, because now when my kids are in school, it looks very different when they were newborns.
Yeah, for sure. You have more time.
A little bit more time.
So, what has been like your favorite client success story?
I have a bunch of them, but it's all the same through line, which is like they went from being burnt out, overwhelmed, almost giving up their businesses
Hmm.
to completely total revamp, total transformation into now their businesses have tripled, they have built teams, they're obviously huge profit margins, they love what they're doing, and it's so funny because they look back and they go, I cannot believe I almost gave up this thing now that is booming and super successful. And which is the best part, not just the cherry on the top, it's like the whole thing for me. They get to be a present wife or mom, whatever those titles are for them, and be
Yeah.
a successful business owner. So they get to have it all. Like they get to check the boxes that are important to them.
So I know we can't cover all of these things happen in just this podcast episode, but what do you think are like the top few things that people implement in order to have that freedom and success to do what they want while still being really busy? Like what are the things that
Yeah.
maybe that they hadn't been doing that now they're starting to do?
Yeah, so they definitely, when they come to me first, they don't have a system. They're kind of just winging it. They're like, maybe I have, we'll say 2 to 4 hours a day, and they're just kind of winging it. They don't have a plan in place. So
Mhm.
there's no system. The second thing is there's no strategy. So they're just kind of like, well, when I sit down and I go to work, it's very reactive instead of proactive. So maybe
Mhm.
they're just like in their inbox, they're answering emails, or they're just kind of like shooting from the hip, and
Yeah.
they don't have anything built into their systems to allow them to successfully show up. I like to call it the big money moves. So the big money moves are the needle moving activities that move
Yeah.
you forward, that that get you those big wins to continue, pushing you down the field to the goal line. So
Yeah.
the systems, the strategy, and then support. And support can come in many different forms. It can be from a coach, it can be from team members, it can be from automation, AI, that
Mhm.
allows you to free up your time. Like I remember probably, I don't know. So my youngest is almost 5. So probably when he was like 1 or 2, I remember like being out at the park with him. He was on the back of my bike and we were, just going for a ride. And I turned around because he had fallen asleep in the back of the bike. And I just
Mhm.
like pulled out my phone to take a picture. And of course, then I opened up my emails to see like, okay, what came through. And it was an email from me, like in my own inbox. And it was because my team was sending out emails while I was in the park with my son, having this beautiful moment with him. And
Yeah.
it was like in that moment where I was like, this is it. Like my business is running and going. And like I'm here having this beautiful moment of personal time with my son, and the business is still going and operating and flowing. So that for me is like the best part when my clients get to experience that, because again, they're getting the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. So what are like the main ways that you use right now to grow your own business?
Yeah, so we are really using a lot of AI right now.
Mm.
A lot of AI in terms of like on social, but also I would say a lot of repurposing. So I tell my girls, I tell my clients, like if you're gonna do something, you never do it for just once. Like you never create something and only use it once. So repurposing in a sense of, let's say it's a podcast, and you can use, and I'm sure you do this yourself,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you take your video content and you can repurpose that on all the different platforms.
Mhm.
Myself personally, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, uh, Pinterest. So we're like on all the platforms.
Yeah.
But then also that going out on the CRM, all the different places, in the descriptions, list building in all of our links,
Yeah.
to continue to provide value. So, I think again, a lot of it is the repurposing game, but AI helps a lot too, because that drives a lot of movement and engagement, even when I'm not personally the one doing it.
Cool. So are you saying that you get like most of your clients then from like organic content? Or are there any other like what are like your main like I guess client acquisition strategies?
Yeah, so a lot of it is the content. A lot of it is also referrals and events.
Mhm.
Events, I actually come from the event space. So
Nice.
I've lived here in South Florida for, I think, 11 or 12 years.
Yeah.
But before that, I was in Pennsylvania and I was doing events. Like I was running an event business for 5 years.
Mhm.
And I mean, at weddings and I mean, any kind of event, I was doing that. So I come from the event space. So a lot of the girls that come join an event, maybe even for the first time, they get
Uh,
into the ecosystem, they see the other members, they want to come be a part of it. And again, it's back to what we were talking about with the experience. Like they want to be in a community that supports them. They want to be out on a yacht doing fun things, cooking classes. We've done so many different things, cooking classes, personal what's it called? Self-defense classes. We've
okay.
done the yacht days. We've done, we do it all, right? So it's like having fun, connecting, and growing together.
Yeah. No, I love that. And events are a really big part of my business too. And I just think there's something about just like bringing people together.
Yes.
It's just like I've never been a fan of like virtual events. I mean, they have their role in society, but like just
Yeah.
like that energy of bringing together people who are like-minded on the same wavelength, you just have a much more
Hmm.
powerful experience, whether it's even like an evening event or a retreat, something like that.
Yes.
Like what's been your favorite event in the last 24 months?
Okay. So, okay, can I give you two?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
So I just did maybe 2 weeks ago, VIP day with clients. So we had about 8 women in the room, and this was actually a collab event. So I don't know if you're familiar with Kelly Roach, but her and I have teamed up to do events together, which has been amazing, all in South Florida.
Mhm.
And so we have a retreat for our ladies in November where all the early bird ladies got a VIP day so they could come and do with Kelly and I. So that was really fun because it was more intimate. And then the other larger event was one that we did. It was a live women's power podcasting event. So I have a podcast. Kelly Roach also has a podcast. So we were
Mhm.
like, I texted her maybe in December and I was like, why don't we do a live event? She's like, let's do it. So we
Yeah,
collaborated on that. That was in February. It was 100-person women's events.
nice.
And it was amazing. We had amazing sponsors and speaker. Like it was such a great, I love it. I mean, you said it yourself. Like I love live events, like the
Mhm.
energy, it's amazing. So that was super fun because it was a little bit larger, but like the energy was amazing. And then from that came the retreat. And then we're doing another 200-person event September 25th called Call to Lead.
Amazing. Well, it's so exciting.
Lots of fun stuff.
Seems like it. So, Sandy, I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say it's the end of your life and you've done everything that you've wanted to do,
Hmm.
all the things, life, business, family. However, for whatever reason, there's no like record of any of it. There's no
Hmm.
podcasts, there's no Instagram posts, there's no interviews or anything like that. But you
Okay.
have it's all gone for whatever reason, but you have a megaphone and you can talk to the entire world and share
Okay.
truths that you know to be
Three
true
truths.
about the world around you.
Oh, this is really good. It's interesting because you said I can share it with the world, but I
Uh,
think my messaging would more so be for my kids or my grandkids or like whatever my legacy was,
okay.
you know, at that point. So if the message was going out to the world, I feel like the point of the messaging would more so be for my children because
Okay.
that's what I look at as my legacy,
Yeah.
and what they're going to build and what they're going to, create and put out into the world. So even though it would be for the world, it would be very intentional for my children or grandchildren and my family.
Okay.
So I would, so man, three things. I would, let me think. Okay. So a quote that my grandfather passed on to my dad, which passed on to us, was always be the creator of your own destiny. So don't let anyone else tell you, persuade you, like you be the one that's in charge and in control. So that would be my number one, because that
Okay.
already is a legacy statement. Be the creator of your own destiny. The second one would be the things in life that are the hardest are going to provide you with the most growth. So lean into them.
Yeah.
And then the third one would be, man, my last one. My last one would be, don't wait for life to happen. Go out and create it. Don't wait for life to happen to you.
Yeah.
Go out and create what you want to have in life.
Oh, for sure. That's been your story. You
Yeah.
know?
And I have to say, even that last quote,
Mhm.
it's from my grandfather.
Yeah.
Like it's something that was passed down to me. So I think that, these foundational pieces of our life that we carry
Yeah.
with us, like they start so young. They whether we realize it or not, like I think that, again, like whether you're passing it to your kids or it's something like you're living it, and I think you end up living your life by those foundational principles in everything that you do with your family, with your health and your business. Like it becomes ingrained into the roots of who you are.
Yeah, it's a program, it's a subconscious program, whether it's something very positive like what you said that's really gonna help people, or other things that keep people trapped and stuck and all
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah. And it's your story. I mean, you get to write it. It doesn't matter like where you came from. I mean, my grandfather, I think the reason why he was so, I mean, he was very prolific, but I
mm,
think that he was also, his family was everything. So that was something that he passed on with his legacy.
yeah,
My grandfather was essentially an orphan. I mean, his father died when he was very young. He was put into an all boys home. And so because of that, he was, again, family was everything to him, but he created everything he had. So it was always like, you be the creator of your destiny, you be the one that goes out, and don't let other people decide that for you, because I think sometimes we can get trapped in our own stories, and then it becomes the block, not the way. So it's like using those blocks as the building blocks, not as the roadblocks.
absolutely. Well, Sandy, thanks so much. Where can the people find you?
Yes, thank you so much. So they can find me on all social at Sandy Glandt. It's Sandy with an I. Also, if they want to come join the event called to lead, they can find me. It's sandyglandt.com/called dash to dash lead. But I'll give you the link so you can post it up. It's a little long, but that'll be September 25th. And then also at the Slayer Day podcast.
Perfect. Well, Sandy, that's all awesome, and thanks again for such a great conversation.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.